everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm carrying on with my color along in Mysteria by Anastasia Elly Koldareva, and what I'm doing is I am coloring half a page with charcoal and the other half of the same page with colored pencils. And I'm going to start with colored pencils today, just for something a bit different, and we'll see how the evening progresses. All right, so just gonna get myself set up here quickly. All right, so one sec. So I'm using Prismacolor pencils, and we are going to work on building up the skin. So if you can see it's already looking quite okay, but what we really need to do is actually build up these layers even more. So I'm going to bring out the same pencils that I used last week, and I'm going to just continue working the skin tone, and then we'll move on to the hair and we'll work a bit more on the bee. Okay, so what we want is not photo blue. I'm just going to get out all the same pencils, which could just take a wee while. Right, so we want non-photo blue, we want a violet, a sienna brown, a dark brown, a light umber, a beige sienna, a pink, a salmon pink, and a beige and a light beige. And we might add a few more colors as we go. I'm probably going to give her pinkish kind of lips, so I'm going to bring out a pomegranate and a mahogany red and maybe a black raspberry. We'll see how that works. And then for the bee, I'm going to use a canary yellow with some sunburst yellow and maybe a cadmium orange hue, and I've got the browns here that I can dabble into, so that will work quite nicely. And then I also want a 90% cool grey for the black of the wings, and maybe a lighter grey, so a 20% cool grey, and we'll see how that works. I haven't worked out her hair yet, I have no idea. I'm probably leaning towards doing the sort of like a very light green, so we'll work on a bit of that. I think if we use a light green, and we'll weave that in with some browns, so like some light umbers, and maybe we can use a chocolate. We'll see how that goes, and then maybe move on to the charcoal. Okay, so now that I've figured myself out, Hi Abby, how are you? It's great to have you. Okay, so I'm going to try and zoom you in a little bit, and let's get a bit started. So the thing with colored pencil portraits is, and I find with this paper you really do need to be careful, because I'm not convinced on this paper. I think in some ways it actually does, if you don't do it slow and steady, it almost is like it blends weird and it can get splotches no matter. So I haven't really worked out how to do this very well, but let's give it a go. I have a colorless blender as well, so we can see how it works if need be. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my violet into my very dark shadows. Move all my other colors to one side. So I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope you're all well. Right, I do want to kind of go a slightly different direction than what I normally go, and kind of do a bit of a cross hatching here, because I really don't want to create like clumpy, splotchy skin. And I'm going to use purple in my very dark shadows. I'm not very good coloring makeup. I tend to just not really do it very well. I'm not even sure if I know how. And I'm going to put it down to the fact that I don't actually wear much makeup myself. So that's my excuse. Alright, so I want to come a bit under the eyes here, because her eyelids are going to cast a bit of a shadow on there. Now what we can do actually is probably bring in some of that true green into the lighter midtones, into some of the highlights, the areas, just to kind of make sure that we've got a cohesiveness with our colors. So I've seen some people do, they draw their own portraits and then they sketch it in their sketchbook. And some of the color combinations I've seen have been really, really beautiful. They use like a mix of yellows and pinks and greens in a way that really works for the page that they're coloring or even drawing. And I'd love to figure out how to do a similar kind of color palette, but my portrait drawing skills are still not quite at the level that I feel confident to to actually share. So that's my work in progress kind of plan, is to one day be able to draw my own portrait and play around in my sketchbook with some different skin and hair color combos and find out what kind of works, what doesn't. I'm also really keen to try and color a portrait in a coloring book in a sort of sketchy style, but I haven't wrapped my head quite around how to do that. I haven't worked out the sketchy technique yet. So again, another work in progress sort of thing going on there for me. But it's on my to-do list, and one day I will get to actually doing it. Right, so what have you been colouring? Are you looking forward to harvest pages or Halloween pages? If you're new to the channel, you maybe don't know, I don't really colour in Halloween. I actually have a personal just preference to not colour Halloween pages, but I do quite like colouring the autumn theme. So I've got a game on my phone that I've been playing. It's a really, really cool game, and one of the mini games is themed with Halloween, and I tried I tried playing it earlier today because the sub game actually gives me more currency in the real game. It's just a phone game, it's very casual. But it's got these creepy clowns, and I really can't do this. So I've decided I have to just suffer the lack of game money to do all the things I want to do, and just go rather slow until after Halloween, because I cannot play this game. It creeps me out. Alright, so by putting the shadow underneath the lip here, what we're really doing is we're just helping the lip actually become three-dimensional and just stand out from the rest of the face. So we do want to do that. I will be moving to charcoal later on. Right now I'm just settling myself in and getting myself back comfortable in the zone with this color palette. Alright, so I'm going to bring in some of the blue now, and I'm just going to come out here. Now I haven't got a, what do you call it, like a formula or a reference photo. I'm literally just going off memory and kind of winging this. So if you are more experienced at drawing portraits and see that I'm making an error, please feel free to color along on your page with the knowledge that you have. If you are following along, if you are coloring with me. If not, if you're doing your own thing, let me know what you're coloring. I actually quite like the bits of blue that kind of come out. I'm realizing I don't necessarily have to blend out all the blues and purples, that it actually can look quite nice to have some of it peeking out. So I don't know how the skin tone is actually going to end up working, but I quite like that it's got a little bit of character to it. All right, so let's bring a little bit of green. This is light green, and we can just put it very gently here. And all this is going to do is just help warm up the skin tone a little bit. Hi Dawn, how are you? I'm glad you are well. It looks like Carly has changed her channel name. Or you've changed your name. All right, so I'm going to bring in my beige sienna. See, like here, the paper gets like these clumps, and it really is weird. And if you end up like getting little fibers of the paper and they happen to catch on your pencil, it also creates some sort of weird texture thing. Oh, thank you. We're gonna build it up slowly. And then eventually I'll get fed up of doing it slowly, and I'll just push it all together really quickly and move on. I'm really not sure what color hair to give her. Maybe we could do something funky, like a brownie blonde with sort of like pinky green streaks in it or something like that. Oh, lovely, you're eating an apple. Apples are so good. My favorite are the red ones. so I need sienna brown just for that red sort of tinge to the skin. Hi Shani, how are you? How's your week been so far? How's the animals? All your dogs? Oh wow, you got a Lego set for your birthday. That's so cool. Which one did you get? And happy birthday. I hope you had a lovely celebration and your family and loved ones really went to town celebrating you. Oh dear, YouTube is being done with an update. Okay. What update did YouTube do and is being silly about? There seems to be quite a lot of silliness going on with tech at the moment. I mean, I'm not overly impressed with Microsoft wanting people to buy new laptops and tablets because of Windows 11. Oh, the name's being different. Okay, is that what's happening? Because I'm getting very confused between Carly and apparently Noelle is also in the chat, and I'm sorry I haven't said hello. Yeah, I'm only seeing like a couple of people. So if you are in the chat and I haven't said hello to you yet, I'm really sorry, and hello to you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've joined. All right, I want some of this brown sienna in the eyebrow because these hairs are one color, and then you've also got some of the skin kind of in there. So let's just do that. See here, it's got that stupid like wax thingy. It picks up and then it rubs it into the tooth of the paper and it becomes so annoying. And then she looks like she has blemishes. And then you can't get it out. Oh dear, we might have to turn her into like freckles. Okay, so now I'm going to go for some dark brown in this shadowy area here. I'm not sure how much more layers I can actually put on here. Right, let's put some pink. Let's brighten her up, give her a nice I suppose you could put a lovely like wash of a glitter shimmery kind of watercolor paint on there, very, you know, thick, so not a lot of water, and it would look really pretty. Okay, so now I want some pink salmon. You're gonna switch out your picture. Depends how much fun you want to have. Well, you did have me slightly confused. I was at one point starting to worry that, you know, like, is this actually a person, or is this like a bot or something that's found my channel? Okay, I think I want to work on, this is going to be so weird, half of her lips. Can only work on half of her lips. So let's do salmon pink. Okay, hang on. Just making sure I don't go past my half. Okay, salmon pink on the lips. Alright, so this is mahogany red. Pumpkin face cat named Daisy. Aww. Well, why don't you give it a good go? Finish your Kirby page and go mow. Do you have a big garden? Will mowing take you quite a long time? So I think I'm going to take a 90% cool grey into here. Hi Britt, how are you? Oh, well done on finishing your laundry. Laundry is one of those things that seems to be an ongoing job in our house. Okay, so we're at least getting half a lip fully developed here. This is good. Oh, thank you. Okay, I already feel better that she has some pink lips. It's like, okay, I can do this now. Okay, so let's come back to the skin, and I think I'm just going to bring in some of that 90% cool gray right into her nose here. Very touch here. And under here. Hey Jody, how are you? Gosh, I'm having to read all of you guys' handles very carefully now. It's like, who is who? Do you know what? It actually looks a lot darker in real life than what I'm seeing on the screen. I think it's the glare of my lamp bouncing off and just sort of looking a bit more mute than it actually is. So did YouTube just assign people different handles, or did you all go in and just change your handles? Okay, YouTube did it. Yes, you've had a lot of spice. Okay, I'm going to use some light peach. I'm going to try and blend this out a bit and see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to try and use this colorless blender. Hello Brittany, how are you? Now you don't have to use a colorless blender, a colored pencil will work. I'm using mine more to just sort of not add more weird splotches onto her face. I'm trying to really keep her face as smooth and natural as I can. Oh, she's not looking too bad. Thank you. I'm glad to hear YouTube is recommending your own videos to you. That's helpful. Oh gosh, I wish they would recommend them to someone new. I've actually given up following the algorithm or even caring about anything like that, because I just am not interested in chasing an ever-changing hamster wheel. So I decided I'll just show up and do what I can, and whatever will be, will be. Bye, Britt. Enjoy picking up your kiddo. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, day, evening, whichever time of the world you are in. Alright, I want a white pencil because I want to try and blend out the highlights so that they at least look a little bit more natural. And then I'm going to go inside these wings and work on blending them out. Okay, then I want to deepen up some of this. Oh, thank you. Yes, the guinea pigs are out for a little run. We never really get to putting them out during the day with trying to just get through all 3 kids schooling and just general busyness. But if we don't get to it in the day, I try and make sure they come out for a night run. They're very happy and they've settled really well. We've had them now, I think, over a year, maybe a year and 6 months. and they've come a long way. Although they do seem to be very polite guinea pigs, because I've heard of some guinea pigs really squeaking and squawking whenever they hear it's there, they can get their veggies. And our guinea pigs let out a very polite squeak or two, and then they they stop. So I've been joking with the family that I think they must have been at one stage in nobility or royalty, because their manners are so prim and proper. Naturally, I do just joke, but yeah, it's quite funny. Schooling is going normal. It's been a bit rough, but it's going okay. Getting through all 3 kids can be a bit challenging. I had them playing catch up on the weekend, and then this weekend and next weekend is quite busy, so just helping them stay on top of it. It's a big job for them and for me, but you know, it's okay. I wouldn't have it any other way, to be really honest. I get to spend a lot of time with them, and for the most part we get to really chat quite a lot. So yeah, it just works. But they were a bit of a handful today. Winding each other up. Oh, you grew up having guinea pigs. It's so cool. Oh no, my guinea pigs don't go nuts when we open the fridge. Yes, staying on target is hard for most of us. I've worked out if I print them their weekly schedule into what to do per day, the kids kind of work quite well with that. And then I sit predominantly with the younger 2 and help them where they need help, especially with some of the reading. You know, whilst they don't have severe learning difficulties, the level that they do have, it's hard for them sometimes. I had to actually back off a couple of weeks ago. My one boy, I didn't realize he'd seen a particular book, had his heart set on reading that book. I made the mistake of not buying the correct version, and I bought a slightly easier version. And he tried the audio but was getting frustrated, and eventually I could see he really wanted to read the easier version. And I remember thinking to myself, stop, don't worry, just let him read it. It doesn't matter what he reads as long as he's read and that he wants to read. So I had to give myself a bit of a pep talk. Obviously, I do tell my religious friends that I had a bit of a aha moment where it was like a nudge on the shoulder, like, come on, this is important. Alright, so we're going to make this like a browny, black, yellowy kind of bee. Just kind of bring this into each other. Oh gosh, yes, they can. And the funny thing when they wind each other up is they weren't winding each other up necessarily in a spiteful, naughty kind of way. They were just goofing around, but in the goofing around, they were irritating each other. And then they get, because they're boys, they sometimes get a little, you know, physical. hard taps on the back here and there, and the next thing you know, someone's been hit too hard and there's slight tears, but they're getting manly now, so they don't want to necessarily show that they're tearing up. And they're just such great boys. Right, I suppose I need to be careful of not adding too much orange in here. I can just knock it back a little bit. I think it looks great to have a bit of blue in the wings. It complements the bee body. I hope my line is straight. It can be, wouldn't surprise me if it actually turns out to be slightly wonky. Okay, I think with her hair, I'm going to probably put down like some shadowy bits. So I'm gonna use color theory a little bit. So we'll do some shadows. And kind of block her hair in. And then we can see if we need more color on her face. You can't draw a straight line with a ruler. But at the same time, you know, wonky lines does give a lot of character. So, you know, I think there's place for wonky lines. When I went to Canterbury for a urban sketching group workshop, one of the buildings we sketched was an old Tudor building, and wonky lines worked brilliantly because on the building itself the lines were wonky. So it really took a lot of pressure off creating these nice straight and brilliant lines. You could create wobbly lines and it didn't look out of place because that is exactly what the building looked like. so these are slightly see-through, so I'll just put a little bit of purple in here. These are probably more like a see-through brown, but I really like the idea of making them a see-through green. I think it will just stand out really nicely. So we're gonna do that. Your middle name should be wonky. No. I remember as a kid, well, more of a teenager, my sister and I used to, I think, talk about whether or not we would change our names, and if we changed our names, what would we change them to. And I never really wanted to change my first name, but sometimes I liked the idea of not having my middle name, only because I wasn't a fan of what it meant. But I never went through the hassle of changing my name, because I kind of was like, oh well, it's just the name I've been given. And I quite like it. But it was an interesting thing to play around with when you're a kid. And you're like, oh, if I was to pick a name, what name would I give myself? Right, so these look more like a little bit of flyaway hairs there. So I have no idea how her hair is going to turn out, but we will just play with it and let it be. And you know, at the end of the day, the other side is all in charcoal, so that's fine. But I think I might actually finish up just blocking out the these sort of areas, and then I'm going to move over to the charcoal. So I thought if I do charcoal last, at least that way I can let my hands get dirty, and then at the end I can go wash them. Whereas if I start with charcoal, I have to stay with dirty hands, and I don't want to smudge this side of the page. It's been a lot of fun playing with charcoal. I've spent about 4 weeks now just gently working with charcoal and playing around with it, and I've learned a lot, actually, a lot more than I previously had. But I definitely think you need a good paper to really get the best out of charcoal, like anything really. Oh, that's so funny. Your mom had Anne in her name and passed it on to you, but hated it. That's interesting. So my first name is after my Scottish mum, my dad's mum, and my middle name is after my Afrikaans granny. So that's how that one worked. I think because I was the oldest, it was sort of like honoring the family, honoring the mums. And I look a lot like my mum, and my mum looks a lot like her mom. So if you stick the three of us together in one photo, you can actually see the family resemblance. Yeah, charcoal is a lot of fun. It's nice and messy too, so if you like messy things, it can work really well. I think what makes it quite easy in some respects is you don't have to worry about you know, the colors and blending the colors together and making sure that you've got the right combination. You just have black and white and grey, and you can play around with that. So in some ways it makes it a little bit more simple. I think with colored pencil and paint you end up bringing in color theory and a whole lot of other things to think about. But in the middle of October, end of October, I'm going to start playing around with, I think, more like a collage, a bit of collage and a few other things. So be interesting to see what comes out of that. So it will most likely come out somehow in my coloring. Might get an idea or two for live and then explore that, so that could be fun. Alright, so she's got bluey, purpley, greeny hair. Yay! Just make it weird. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, cool, you've done a page with an HB pencil. HB is also really great. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, although the charcoal is a lot softer. So yeah, I'd say probably like if you were drawing with a 6B or an 8B pencil, you're probably encountering a bit of similarities there. Don't drop the pencil. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in some pink. Yeah, I've got a brown tinted charcoal color, and I tried it the other day and I really didn't like it. I actually just got irritated with it. I much prefer just sticking to the black and the white charcoals. And even the white charcoal, I don't use it a lot. I really want to practice using the white of the paper as a highlight more. I feel like that's an area I really need to practice and grow in, because I think if used well, you can really get striking highlights. I'm sure there are many talented people out there who can use tinted charcoal pencils. I haven't looked into it. Right, so now I'm going to bring, maybe it's a beige. Okay, let's try beige. See if this works. I think I am slowly just either evolving into something or I am losing my mind. Like, what am I doing? Do we want multicolored hair like this? I mean, is this really what we want? Does this look nice? Does this look like a mess? I don't know. Maybe it's confused. Maybe I'm confused. Okay, I think I'm lost. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. All right, I'm gonna move over to the charcoal and I will come back to this with fresh eyes and either fix it or just deepen it. But I don't think it's, you know, clashing, so that's a good thing. Okay, let's build up on the other side now, which is in some ways a lot trickier. I'm gonna first get my really dark charcoal, and I think I'm gonna try and work my way down. Let's use this one. Okay, so this is a Willow charcoal stick here. Now, I find my technique with charcoal is not necessarily for fine detail very good, but we can try and get the feel going here. If it frustrates me too much, I'll just do another way of hair. I worked out in a portrait in my sketchbook. If I go a bit quiet, please excuse me. It's mainly because I'm concentrating and trying to find the sort of where everything is going on the page. I think with charcoal you might need to do like more longer strokes for hair. So now here I'm going to take, I think this is the Faber-Castell sort of charcoal here, and oh gosh, it's just going to get messy this side. here you're going to definitely have a much darker value. You also have to be careful with the makeup brush because you can end up dusting everywhere else on the page. Yes, here it is. So I'm just cleaning my eraser pencil just a bit. And this will allow me to bring in a few white strands. So this beautiful round thing, well, not rounded, it was round. This is the Faber-Castell charcoal stick, and it is gorgeous. I love using it for very deep shadows. I'm going to try and use it along here. And it kind of goes wherever you tell it to go, which is quite cool. Okay, so a kneadable eraser, tidy up stuff around the outside, and then in here. I find with this sort of thing, I actually get lost in concentrating. Like, where is everything going? Where do I need to kind of create this hair going up? And then so you end up with charcoal, putting down and lifting out, putting down, lifting out. I won't be able to do every fine strand that is on this page, but I want to do enough strands and variety that it looks like she's got strands of hair. My skill level is not at a hyperrealism kind of stage. So we'll just do the best that we can with what we know. Okay, so now I'm going to try and bring in some more highlights. All right, I think she's just going to end up with messy hair. Anyway. So we go in here with a bit of charcoal. And then I go very lightly. Okay. All right, So now I'm going to come up here. Oop, don't slip. Okay, so along here, probably gonna have to. So I find with the Faber-Castell Willow charcoal, I need to actually be. I can use it to kind of finish up my shadowed areas. It's so dark. So in these sort of plant thingies in her ear, I'm needing to try and lift some of the color because I can't have them the same value as her hair. That's going to actually kind of lose them. So what I need to do is kind of lift this color up a bit. could try put in some sort of like hair strands. Maybe one day I will have the patience to do something this realistic. I'm not very hopeful though. Right, so quite a tricky thing to try and blend the skin so it's very smooth. I'm blaming half of it on the paper. And it's not my fault, it's the paper's fault. Paper splotchy. Oh, wow, 4 hours sleep if you're lucky. I've heard, and as far as I've noticed and started to experience, is that as women get older, the insomnia kicks in, which I suppose on the one hand can be useful to get done all the stuff that we don't normally get done during the day, but on the other hand, very annoying because you do need your sleep. I know my mom, she goes to sleep quite late. She doesn't sleep as much as she used to, or that I remember. And my mother-in-law also, she doesn't sleep a lot either. It's just part of it. I find I have to try and encourage myself to sleep as much as I can, otherwise I can get really grumpy, and that's not necessarily fun for the rest of the family. Oh dear. Wrong place. I didn't want it there. Oh, there. Oh dear. No. No. Not that dark. Lift it up, lift it up. There we go. Alright, so this thing is my favorite. It really, if you can get it angled right, it really makes the difference between all that highlights and shadows and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to kind of use like the painter thing where you stick your pinky down and then you use it to kind of try and anchor your hand. Do the painter thing. This is really hard. I'm drawing off the lines. Oh dear. Kind of have to do it confidently, like that. It goes like there, and it goes like that. And then you just make a wonky line. It's like, nope, it's okay. Wonky lines in the animal kingdom are fine. You can use an eraser pencil to kind of like just sort of blend it, erase it. Oh wow, you fall asleep early and then you're up all at midnight. Oh wow, Jody, I feel for you. You sleep between 2 to 4 hours and it's broken sleep. Oh, that can't be fun. I tell you, sleep is a hard one. We need it, and then I don't know. It doesn't always work. Okay, so I need a really sharp pencil. Okay, let's try this one. Don't want to ruin the eyebrows. The beautiful eyebrows. Oh dear. I daren't do more. It's a tricky thing. I mean, I'm literally turning, my hands are turning colors. I don't know where else it needs. Maybe over here under chin actually. It's a little bit of distinction between her neck and her hair. So that way it doesn't kind of disappear into each other. Okay. Where else do I put? Where else? I do find the charcoal actually makes the portrait a lot quicker. Oh, okay, I know where I need to go. I need to go up here in the hair. Paint a finger down. The white spot for eye. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna take this off a bit so you can have it look and see how it looks on both sides, and then next week I will try and finish it up. Okay, hang on. Can I use my dirty fingers and try and blend this in a bit? It does not look straight. Oh my goodness, see, look, my line has gone here to here to here. Seriously, I think the B is a lot more symmetrical than the rest of the page. Oh my goodness, I will spray my page again and see how else I can deepen up the shadowed areas. I mean, as you can see, like here it needs to kind of be deepened up there. The challenge was trying to protect your pages. Anyway, yeah. There we go. All right, so that's how it looks. If I try and tilt it out of the light for you, maybe you can see it looks a little bit better. So yeah, the light from my lamp doesn't really help showcase how rich it is. Okay. So there we go. I quite like how she's turning out. I think it's really interesting seeing the dark side, the black side, and then the colored side, or the grayscale side, I should probably say. And then I will try and fix this probably with pencils and the charcoal next week. But overall, I think she's looking really, really great. I'm not really sure where else I need to work on the shadows, but I'm sure when we come back to it with fresh eyes, it will look a whole lot better. And then I need to finish up here, get a white Posca pen and do highlights. But yeah, try and separate the lines so it's a little bit more seamless. But other than that, it's going well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Really appreciate all of you. I hope you have a fabulous week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Monday, same time, same place. Until then, everyone, take care. Bye.